I'm delighted today to introduce to you an amazing leader, Ashish Modak. And he's a very special man. He just was mentioned all over the news that his resort got to be one of the top 25 best resorts in the world on TripAdvisors. And so many stories. Hello, Ashish. How are you today?
Well, a big hello to you, Avi, from here, from the beautiful paradise like Mauritius. I'm very well, thank you. And how are you?
I'm delighted because when I saw you first, I remember you were making a presentation in NUS, and it was captivating. I realized how difficult it is to do and so many components that you had to tweak in order to make from a devastated, almost bankrupt institution to make it into one of the top in the world. So I was intrigued. And so how you combine the heads and the hearts to delight almost everyone, not only your customers. So I became your fan when I had the opportunity to listen to you and your MBA class, and then to be your keynote speaker. And I think the most important thing that people want to know is about your story before we talk about your company. Every good story has a humble beginning. What was yours?
Okay. Well, first of all, a big thank you, Avi, for giving me the opportunity to speak to you here on this forum. It was a pleasure to meet you. Yeah, it was about a year and a half, 2 years ago in Singapore. And we met for the first time after my presentation then. And then later that afternoon to have you present and hear everything about sharing delight, sharing happiness from someone like you was honestly an awesome feeling. Not just for me, but I distinctly remember all the 47, 48 participants in that MBA course. All of us thoroughly enjoyed listening to your pearls of wisdom, if I may. It was absolutely amazing. So thank you for sharing with us that session, for being that keynote speaker for that one particular session. And I have become a fan of yours since then. So
Mutual Admiration Club, thank you. And because people like you teach me, and with your real work, that's where I could share with the world. So how did you come about to be the successful leader that makes this amazing top 25 in the world?
Well, you mentioned about me sharing my story. And to put it very simply, I personally am amazed with the opportunities that I have been blessed with over the years. I started off or rather I grew up in a little suburb of Mumbai, that's in India. That's where my childhood was spent. Both my parents are professors. They're both retired now, but were professors with the University of Mumbai and with another institution in Mumbai. So grew up in a very conventional childhood family story where education was a key. Everyone focused on that typical middle class family background where you work hard and you do well in life was the mantra. My grandfather was a doctor by profession, but was very passionate about baking in particular and cooking in general. So whenever as a child I used to visit him, he used to try and find that time to bake something special for us kids and do something different. And I think my desire to try my hand at catering first and then into hotel management has its roots in those experiences with my grandfather as a child. Eventually I decided to pursue a career in hospitality. So I did my hotel school. In those days, when I decided to go in for a hotel school, there were two institutions in India which were regarded as the finest in hospitality, and they still are, the Oberoi's and the Taj. I remember reading a lot about MS Oberoi, who started the Oberoi Hotels, and about J.R.D. Tata, who was then at the helm of the Taj Group. I became a fan of these two people and Mr. Kerkar, who was heading the Taj family or the Taj Group then. I was fortunate that I got into Taj during our campus interviews, and since then there's never been looking back. After having worked with Taj for 11 years between India and several other countries, then I moved on to a couple of other places and eventually found myself here in, like I mentioned a minute ago, in paradise in Mauritius. So that's my story as to how I'm here and how I started.
I can't wait until I could visit this beautiful place. So tell us a little bit about how did you manage to be ranked consistently at the top? I think you're also #1 in Mauritius, and that's not news to you, but going to the top 25, how did you make it?
Well, since we are talking of these rankings and these recent awards, yeah, I think Lux Belmar, the hotel I directly manage, we've struck gold, if I may, this year with these awards. We've been voted or ranked as amongst the top 25 hotels in the world. We've been ranked amongst the top 25 best luxury hotels in the world. We've been ranked amongst the top 5 all-inclusive resorts in the world. And it's the Traveler's Choice Awards. It's the customer's voice. So it means a lot to every hotelier around the world and to also my team here and myself. But it's not just the story of Lux Belmar. When Lux Belmar gets ranked in these awards, and over the last few years, we've won a lot of different accolades, a lot of different awards in different aspects of hospitality. It's not just for Lux Belmar. It is because of what we are as a company, the Lux Collective.